Yes, so it was the Maxwell, ABD and Harshal Patel show for Bangalore, which took them over the line and gave them a win in their first game after a long time as they beat Mumbai by 2 wickets in what turned out to be a well-deserved win indeed for Bangalore. Virat Kohli won the toss, of course, elected to bowl first on a surface that looked slow, that looked like it will hold up later. And Virat said that at the toss as well. He said it will come on early, but later it'll hold up, and that's exactly what happened. Mumbai were sent in to bat first. Of course, Mumbai had two changes into their team from the last time they played in the final of IPL 2020, and it was very interesting because they got in Marco Jansen, 6'8", Marco Jansen and Chris Lynn into the team, and one of them at least had an impact right away in Chris Lynn. Took a little bit of time to get going, but once he got going, Lynn looked good. He couldn't really time the ball really well. Looked like he was struggling a fair bit, but managed to get some runs on the board as well. Managed to get Rohit out as well, but all said and done, a good start for Mumbai. Mumbai really did look good at the beginning. Contributions from Surya Kumar Yadav, Ishan Kishan as well. At one stage, Mumbai were 130 odd with 5 overs to go, and it looked like they are set for a more than par total on this surface. It was a little difficult for them to manage. Of course, the slower bowlers were taking some pace off the surface, and it was becoming difficult to sort of execute the strokes, but Mumbai were looking convincing until it was the 15th over, and then the last 5 overs, of course, Mumbai were only able to muster up 37 runs and lost about 4 or 5 wickets in the process as well, thanks to Harshal Patel's flurry towards the end and restricting Mumbai to 160. I think the one place that Mumbai lost was the lower middle order could not really contribute. The likes of Pollard, Pandya and Pandya could not really get going. They could not connect bat to ball, could not rotate the strike, something that Mumbai do really well. It just didn't click for them this time, and I think credit to Bangalore for executing their plans really well. Jameson bowled well. Harshal Patel, the pick of the bowlers, maiden fifer, of course, in T20 cricket for Patel, and he was absolutely fantastic. Mumbai finishing at 159, 160 for Bangalore to win. They began really well. Interesting to see Sundar coming up the order. We've always noted that Virat has really rated Sundar as a batter, but to bring him up the order was surprising indeed. But I think it is a stopgap replacement until Devdutt Padikkal comes back into the team. So I think obviously all in all, RCB began well. Good start. Virat looked very good, looked masterful in his stroke making, connected some beautiful shots, played some wonderful shots over cover, didn't look very troubled indeed. And kept on going. They lost Sundar. In came, of course, Patidar, and that as well did not really work. It was a move to elongate the batting order. It was very clear. But and then came the star, the start of the show. When Glenn Maxwell walked in at 4, everybody was a little surprised. I was surprised too. I thought AB de Villiers will come in at 4 and Maxwell at 5, their traditional positions. But the roles were switched, and I think good job. Kudos to Bangalore for promoting Maxwell, getting him into the middle early, giving him some match time in those new colours, and he stood up to the challenge really well. Couple of beautiful reverse sweeps of switches of Krunal Pandya. Some really good hits down the ground as well. He took the attack to Jansen, he took the attack to Pandya, he took the attack to Chahar, and he looked very good. I think the one thing that Mumbai missed is they missed the trick of getting Bumrah in early to take on Glenn Maxwell. I think Bumrah came on only in the 12th over, but it was a little too late. He did get Virat when he came on, but Maxwell was set by then, and I think Bangalore had already started believing that they can get to this total. Well, at the end of the day, it was the de Villiers show. He took the attack to Mumbai. That over versus Trent Bolt was very crucial. I think at that point they needed about 49 odd from the last about 4 overs, was it? Yeah, 4 or 3 overs, and AB de Villiers really did take to Bolt and deposited him for over 15 runs in that over, and really tilted the tide towards Bangalore. Till then, the game was very much in the balance, and I think that over really changed everything for Bangalore. He's done it over the years on a number of occasions, and he's done it again. He's somebody who Bangalore rely upon, and I think that move to play him at 5 is now making much more sense. A lot of people say play him early, give him that much needed freedom right up front, get him in at 3 or 4. But I think it's a very interesting move to keep AB de Villiers at 5, and that move really paid off well for Bangalore. All in all, towards the end, yes, the game did go down to the wire. They almost made a meal out of it, but that's just Bangalore for you. They give you that entertainment, but at the end of the day, they got over the line, and I think they will be very, very happy about their performance today. Alright, before we sign off, let's quickly talk about the big game today. CSK versus DC, and I think it's going to be a crackerjacker of a game. Pant versus his mentor, MS Dhoni. The first glimpse of MS Dhoni in 2021. Yet again, this is a moment of excitement. It really is. Last time as well, when MS was making his return after that sabbatical, back in CSK colours, generated a lot of excitement, and there will be a lot of excitement this time as well. But I think everybody will be in anticipation to see how MS Dhoni bounces back from the performance last year, the first time that Chennai could not finish in the top 4. And I think this time, fans of CSK and also cricket fans alike will be very interesting to see how these guys bounce back. It's an interesting thing. There are a couple of additions have been made to this team. Moeen Ali, Krishnappa Gautam, there have been options that have been brought in to strengthen the spin bowling. The off-spin department will be interesting to see if they play these options in conditions that could be helpful for seam bowlers. Remember, they're playing in Mumbai. They're playing at the Wankhede, where the ball does swing around at the beginning. And also there is help for the seam bowlers throughout. So I think it'll be very interesting to see if MS goes out and plays these new recruits right away, or does he hold them back for further conditions and at this point stick to the likes of Karan and Bravo and Thakur and Chahar and sticks to that formula, plays seam bowlers in these conditions, or does he bowls go in with spin bowlers. That'll be one thing that I'd be very interested to look at from a Chennai perspective. I also would be very interested to see where does MS bat himself. Does he bat up the order at 4? Does he sabotage himself like he did last year as well and promote the likes of Karan, the likes of Bravo and the likes of Jadeja to bat higher up the order? It'll be interesting to see as well where Suresh Raina bats for this CSK unit now that he's back into the team. Does he go back in at 3, go back to where he's always batted for Chennai, or is he given a different position to assume in this edition of the IPL? So a couple of questions for Chennai indeed, which I'll be very interesting to look at. And when it comes from a DC perspective, I think Rishabh Pant, the captain, is something that I'm really keen to look at. He's young, being appointed the interim captain under the tutelage of Ponting, of course. There are a couple of senior figures in this team. How does he fit into that? How does he manage these senior folks in the likes of Ashwin and a couple of others that are there in this team? I'll be very, very, very interested to take a look at how that pans out. All in all, it's going to be a great game. I think the conditions at this point suit both of these teams, the resources that they have. I think DC will probably be missing Rabada and Nortje. Not sure if they're around, not sure if they're available, to be very honest, but it'll be interesting to see if these two are a part of the squad. If they're not, how do DC cope without them? A lot to talk about, and we'll be there. So hang around, like, share and subscribe to cricketnews.com and be a part of our IPL 2021 coverage.